Hello, my name is Betsy Tranquilli, and I am an elementary physical education and health teacher at Hawaii Preparatory Academy on the Big Island of Hawaii. As part of my graduate work in kinesiology at Fresno Pacific University, I am proposing a study on the effects student-led conferencing has on parent and student perceptions and engagement in elementary physical education. Prior research has shown common and pervasive misconceptions, negative perceptions, and a lack of engagement in the physical education curriculum. In academic classrooms, the student-led conferencing model has emerged as a process to increase student motivation and ownership and improve parent understanding and communication surrounding the goals and outcome of curriculum. However, no research exists on the use of student-led conferencing in physical education. Physical educators know the importance of their work, but conveying that value in a way that translates to engagement for both students and parents is often a challenge. Research has shown there is a growing concern about the status of physical education within the larger scope of a child's overall education. It is clear from the ongoing research that there are many misconceptions about physical education, and as a result, questions might continue to arise about its worth in school. There are a number of factors that can influence students' perception, attitude, and engagement in physical education and its perceived value as a curriculum offering. In a 2014 study of 5th and 6th grade student perceptions of their physical education program, students reported that one reason that they enjoyed their PE program was that it provided a break from regular classroom learning, while the PE teachers viewed PE class time as a time for learning as well. Similarly, a 2013 study of middle school students' conceptions and expectations of physical education found that they first valued the ability to stay fit and have fun in PE, while the lowest ranked conception of the purpose of PE was learning health and fitness-related exercise science. Another influencing factor found in research on student attitudes and effort towards physical education was student perceptions on their own physical ability and competence. Multiple studies found a direct correlation between students' perceptions of their own physical abilities and their feelings towards PE class. So if a student felt that they were very competent in a certain movement skill, their perceived enjoyment of PE would be higher than students who felt that they weren't very competent in movement and physical activity. Their perceptions of PE and their enjoyment of PE has been reported to be lower. The research also supports the need for physical education teachers to foster positive attitudes towards physical activity in young children, particularly in the social, health, and personal enjoyment aspects. A 1997 study on gender influence on physical activity levels of primary school students concluded that fostering positive attitudes should be a goal for physical educators, and the means by which this can be achieved should be given serious consideration. Based on the research, there is another level of complexity for physical educators looking to shape the perceptions and expectations of parents surrounding the educational value of physical education. Studies have reported that there is little parental support for mandatory PE, while still acknowledging that PE is important to their child's overall education experience. In a separate study, parents also reported they believed their child did not enjoy PE as much compared to youth sports because PE is mandatory. The lack of support and perception surrounding mandatory inclusion of PE in schools suggests the lower perceived value parents place on physical education's importance. Parents often have little interaction or communication with their child's PE teacher, according to one study, which further hampers the ability to forge connections to their child's learning and their understanding of the goals of the curriculum. According to a 1995 study of parent perceptions of PE and youth sport participation, parents report more positive perceptions about their child's participation in youth sports because they have more direct involvement and can actually witness their child's growth and development over time. Whereas parents see their child's learning indirectly in PE through grades and conversations with their children. One emerging educational model in facilitating better teacher, parent, and student interactions and engagement is the use of student-led conferencing. Student-led conferences are typically implemented in 3 phases. In the preparation phase, students assess skills, set goals, and collect artifacts exemplifying academic progress. During the conferences, students present and discuss their schoolwork, goals, and successes with parents, with the teacher acting as a facilitator for the process. Finally, in the evaluation phase, Students reevaluate their goals following the conference and then challenge themselves to set higher goals for the future. By involving both students and parents in the assessment of their educational performance, student-led conferences help foster communication and increase student motivation and ownership of learning. In their study on student-led conferencing in middle school, Tunestra and Hyatt Michael found that parent participation in such conferences never fell below 92% at any of the 4 schools involved in their study. Parents also expressed the belief that their child is more successful academically since participating in the student-led conference. So with all this prior research showing these common misconceptions, negative perceptions, and lack of engagement in the physical education curriculum by both students and parents, and then the academic classroom seeing these successes with student-led conferencing emerging as a model for increasing student motivation and ownership and improving parental understanding and involvement in their child's learning. The purpose of this study will be to determine the effects student-led conferencing will have on parent and student perceptions and engagement in the physical education curriculum. And the question that is driving this research is, how did the student-led conference process influence parent and student perceptions and engagement in the physical education curriculum? The research designed for this research proposal will be a descriptive and qualitative study through the use of pre- and post-student-led conference survey questions and observations of the conferencing process conducted by the investigator in the field setting of the elementary school environment. Participants will be 4th and 5th grade students between the ages of 9 and 11 and their parents, so about 80 parents. And these participants will be split between a control group that is not participating in conferencing and a subject group engaging in physical education student-led conferences. Students and parents will follow the student-led conferencing model of pre-conference preparation, conferencing, and post-conference evaluation. During the pre-conference data collection phase, determined as 8 to 10 weeks prior to the scheduled conference, numbered questionnaires on perceptions of the physical education program will be distributed and collected by the researcher to student and parent participants to determine the prevalent perceptions of the movement curriculum among the participants. Also included in this pre-conference phase, students will be prepared for their student-led conferences by their physical education teacher. Conference preparation will be determined and reported by the facilitating teacher and includes preparation of student portfolios and artifacts, learning reflections, goal-setting sheets, and speaking practice through demo conference sessions. The teacher will also schedule all times for individual conferences with parents and students. During the conferences taking place over a 2-day period, the researcher will be collecting data through observation of the conferencing process between the teacher, student, and parents. The teacher will act as the facilitator. The student will lead the review of the materials of their portfolios, address their progress, strengths, and weaknesses, and articulate goals for learning in physical education. Parents can ask questions of the students for further clarification following the student's presentation. Students will be numbered in observational notes to maintain their confidentiality. During the post-conference phase, parents and students in both the control group and the conferencing group are again provided number surveys by the researcher immediately following the conference. Responses are collected within a 2-week time frame by the researcher. These surveys replicate the perception surveys used in the pre-conference phase. For the group involved in conferencing, additional questions on the conferencing process will also be included. The purpose of this study will be to determine the effects the student-led conferencing process would have on parent and student perceptions of and the engagement in the physical education curriculum. It is clear that many people have misconceptions about physical education and as a result might question its worth in school. Meanwhile, the research shows that participating in student-led conferencing provides, quote, an opportunity for greater communication among students, parents, and teachers that centers on the student's learning and achievement. No research exists on the use of student-led conferencing in physical education. So by studying the use of student-led conferencing in physical education as a motivating tool for students and engagement and communication method for parents, it could establish another avenue for physical educators to increase student motivation, parental communication, and the overall perceived value of the physical education program. A quality physical education program not only needs to engage the student, but also involve the parent in order to create a better understanding of the value of the curriculum in the educational setting and support the learning that takes place in class. The driving question behind this proposed study is how could the student-led conferencing process influence parent and student perceptions and engagement in the elementary physical education curriculum? The student-led conferencing model has emerged in elementary, middle, and high school classrooms as a way to address similar challenges of motivating students, communicate learning to parents, and improve the overall understanding of the class curriculum goals and outcomes. The use of student-led conferencing has potential to offer similar solutions to the challenges of negative perceptions and lack of engagement faced by physical education programs.